Right now at noon, with the November general election nearing, we'll take a look at the rules regarding electioneering at the polls.
And we've got some clearing skies slowly but surely out there. We'll talk about how much longer it'll take to get the clouds out and what happens after all that. Just a few more minutes.
Plus, some college students in Joplin skip class to volunteer in the community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities have arrested 2 suspects in the death of a 2-year-old child at a home in Commerce, Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. The director of public safety of the KOAM Nation says 32-year-old Daniel Allen Ash and 30-year-old Amber Dawn Murphy face charges of child abuse and voluntary manslaughter. They were arrested Wednesday night and are being held in the Cherokee County, Kansas jail. Both Ash and Murphy will have their initial court appearances this afternoon. Cherokee County, Kansas authorities yesterday charged a Webb City, Missouri woman in the fentanyl overdose death of a Columbus, Kansas man. The suspect is 22-year-old Michaela Marie Sellers. Authorities say she sold fentanyl to 27-year-old Patrick Stevens on July 2nd, and that Stevens died of an overdose the next morning. Sellers has been in custody since August 29th on unrelated charges, including child abuse. The county attorney yesterday charged her with the distribution of controlled substances resulting in death. Well, yesterday afternoon, the Neosho Fire Department responded to a structure fire in Neosho, Missouri. Smoke could be seen from the 1st and 2nd floors of the 2-story structure upon arrival. Fire crews worked to battle the blaze, and the residence has extensive fire damage with the roof burned off. There are no injuries to firefighters or the residents of the home. One pet, however, did die in the fire. The cause of the fire was accidental and originated in the kitchen. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got skies continuing to clear across the area. It doesn't look that way from the MoDOT camera 20th and range line. In fact, roads are fairly packed as well at the lunch hour, but we are seeing some clearing taking place. You can see a little better from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We've got those blue skies and still mostly cloudy skies out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker, still a couple of showers here and there, but that's really about it. We had some decent showers try and roll in, but you can see how the clouds have continued to retreat. So they're rotating this direction from the remnants of Francine, but they're breaking up and kind of falling apart from west to east across the area. Yesterday started at 67, made it up to 86, so another above normal day for us, and those will continue. 74 in Joplin, 74 in Pittsburgh. Got some sunshine on the KDOT camera there. So where the sunshine's been, as we mentioned this morning, we're already in the low and even getting it close to the mid 80s. But those who haven't seen that much sunshine, take a look. Monette, Cassville, mid 60s out there, and some otherwise low 70-degree readings. We'll be falling back through the 70s into the upper 60s through the evening. We'll have a few clouds here and there as we go through the rest of the evening as well, with those partly cloudy skies tonight. Now, we're all going to start to heat up as we head into the weekend and next week. We'll talk about that and some future rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Vernon County, Missouri officials are clarifying the rules when it comes to electioneering on Election Day. The clarification comes after complaints from voters during the August primary election when some voters claimed electioneers harassed them as they were on their way to the polls. Now, county officials want to make sure that those who choose to electioneer know the laws that go along with it and ask that electioneers engage in the act respectfully. In the state of Missouri, no person engaging in the act of electioneering can be within 25 feet of the entrance to a polling place. The Vernon County clerk says she wants all voters to be comfortable to go to the polls without being harassed.
Just, pay attention to what's going on around you. But please get out and vote. It's one of those, don't let the intimidation get you.
In the state of Kansas, electioneering is not allowed within 250 feet of the entrance to a polling place. And in Oklahoma, that distance is 300 feet. One big issue animating a lot of voters in the upcoming election is abortion. KOAM got a chance to interview the candidates for the 2nd District congressional seat in Kansas, Republican Derek Schmidt and Democrat Nancy Boyda. We asked whether they'd support federal legislation that would either guarantee or restrict abortion rights.
Well, I don't think there is or should be a federal ban on abortion. I am pro-life, and I do think that there are things the federal government should be doing on the life issue. For example, I think we ought to make the Hyde Amendment permanent so that you don't have public funding of abortion services. I think there ought not be those services provided at federal facilities, that type of thing.
Reinstate Roe v. Wade? Of course I would. Of course I would. And quite honestly, I can tell you from the left-hand side, even though I'm a moderate, it's anathema that we don't understand how the federal government can come in and make a decision for a woman regarding her health or just her ability to take care of a child. It is an anathema how anyone could believe that the federal government should be in our private lives.
Now, we talked with the candidates about a wide range of other issues, including immigration, inflation, and election security. You can see those complete, unedited interviews at KOAMnewsnow.com. And if you plan to vote in November, now is the time to register. Take a look. These are the deadlines for voter registration. Arkansas has the first cutoff for registration in our area. That's October 7th. In Missouri, the deadline is October 9th. In Oklahoma, you have until October 11th. And in Kansas, you'll have to register by October 15th. Well, coming up, the Webb City School District is helping its students succeed with the new tutoring service. And later, we're making wonton egg drop soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, the Webb City School District is helping its students succeed by providing on-demand tutoring. The tutoring service through paper will offer students 24/7 tutoring. The service is offered in various languages to accommodate all students, including international ones.
Here's where I'm stuck. Can you help me work my way through it? And they may be able to offer a different way than their teacher did, which is beneficial for kids because not everybody learns in the same way.
The tutoring service is the career and college guidance feature. Well, Ozark Christian and college students got together yesterday, but not to go to class. More than 550 students and staff went across Joplin as part of the effort they call Serve Our City. Volunteers helped with things such as yard work, painting, and cleaning. And organizers say they were excited to be able to encourage others to serve their community.
Are aiming to serve the Lord, and it's nice to just be able to come out here and share. We have people that have needs out here, and just to be able to come out here and meet those needs and just find joy in being able to serve the Lord. Because whenever you think of that, you think of big missionaries that go across seas and stuff, but there's ministries right here in town that need just as much help as across seas. So getting to come here and just sharing them and the needs they have, and just finding joy in serving the Lord and the needs they need.
Volunteers worked at 43 locations in the community. Well, this morning, community health workers were invited to learn about HIV prevention and treatment at the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas's annual symposium at the John Parolo Education Center in Pittsburgh. Now, those in attendance were educated on the importance of destigmatizing HIV and ending the HIV epidemic. The symposium is a partnership with the University of Kansas's Medical Center. Oh, Missouri veterinarians are warning pet owners about a deadly bacterial infection being found in dogs. Gracie Smith has the story.
Vets tell me this is the time they're starting to see this disease. It's nice outside and people are taking their dogs to parks like this one more often.
It's kind of scary.
Meet Layla.
She's turning 12 this month. It is her birthday month.
She might be a senior pup, but has enough energy to run around and play. That's why owner Kelly Cruthers takes her to dog parks all across the city.
I have a dog that loves the water, so trying to keep her out of that would be kind of a crazy mess.
So with this dangerous disease, she says she's going to have to keep an extra eye on Layla.
It makes me a little bit more weary.
The most important thing is to make sure your pet is vaccinated.
He's so brave. Dr. Malia Washington is the chief vet at the Pet Resource Center of Kansas City. She says this is a very deadly but easily preventable disease.
Even if your pet's primarily indoors, but you frequent a lot of dog parks or you go swimming and there's water sources that have access to deer or things like that, those are going to be the pets that are going to be at risk.
Leptospirosis, also known as lepto, can spread through the urine of infected animals, contaminating water, soil, and even food.
It causes very rapid and very severe liver and kidney failure.
The vaccine is $20, but Dr. Washington says this is so dire that if you can't afford it, they'll work with you.
We don't want anyone to think that this is inaccessible.
Come here. Something Kelly is definitely thankful for, so that little Layla can continue to run around the dog park safely.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
You can't decide between wonton or egg drop soup with today's easy recipe. You won't have to. So grab a soup spoon and meet me right back here.
And some of us going to be a little hotter today. All of us going to be hotter as we head into the weekend. Look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So we've got the cloud cover for some of us, sunshine for others, and of course that's creating some big temperature differences as well. Let's start with that Skywatch storm tracker. You can see where that cloud shield still is. So the clouds themselves are still technically backing up a bit. They're moving to the west, but because the system itself is pulling away, the clouds are going to be dragged away, and that's what's already taken place across the western half of our area. So that's why it's already warmer out there. That's why from this line right through here into Oklahoma, you are going to be warmer today than your peers. However, all of us are going to be getting in on some of that heat as we head into our weekend. By 5 this evening, you can still see we have some locations, Stockton, Monette, Cassville, probably only going to make maybe the mid to upper 70s out there. But as the clouds continue to clear, we'll go partly cloudy overnight tonight. And as we head into our Saturday, there might be a stray shower, possibly two, but the overall chance is honestly less than 10% at this point. We're going to see otherwise partly cloudy skies, maybe even some mostly clear skies out there. That will allow us to heat up through the weekend. We'll go into Sunday. We're going to see pretty much the same process. Partly cloudy skies out there. We're also going to heat up. Now, the thing is by noon, as you can see, we're actually not that bad. We're in the mid 70s at noon, but we're still going to be putting the heat on as we head later into our Sunday. Through today, though, we're going to continue to see the haze begin to fade away. So for those of you who are seeing sunshine, probably still seeing some of that haze, some of that smoke from those wildfires out west. But as we go overnight tonight and into the weekend, we're going to see that begin to clear out, and we're going to have some more bluish skies out there. But for today, again, we don't have any air quality alerts in our immediate area. We're not that bad off yet, but these yellow dots, some of those stations reporting still moderate air quality out there, so it's not great, not terrible, but it will begin to improve over the next 24 hours. Our camera 7 and range line, we're actually, Joplin, right about on the edge of that cloud shield, so you can see that there. 74 north-northeast breeze at 8, and then we head to Pittsburgh. Here's the other side of that cloud shield. We're looking back toward Joplin from this perspective. Also at 74 east-northeast breeze at 7, and the temperature map gives you a really good idea as to where those clouds are and where they're not. So where they're not, take a look. Chinook, for example, already up to 85. We've got low to mid-80s outside of the clouds. In the clouds, we've got some mid-upper 60s and low to mid-70s. So again, for some of us, for today, this is one of those unique situations where we would need a today graphic for 3 different areas almost. But on average, we're looking to make about 80. But those of you out west, you're going to make the mid to upper 80s out there. We'll have that north breeze at 5 to 10. Winds shift out of the east later, and eventually they'll become calm overnight, falling back into low to mid-60s. As we head into our Saturday, again, all of us start to warm up, mid-upper 80s out there at that east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So what happens beyond all of this? Well, unfortunately, it's still technically summer, and while we're going to be going well above average to the tune of 8 to 10 degrees above normal, we're all getting in on that. So through the weekend and into next week, temperatures begin climbing into the low 90s. We're looking at partly cloudy skies Monday and Tuesday. Again, there is indications of maybe a pop-up shower storm on Monday, but for the most part, we should be dry. Now, we got a cold front coming in toward the end of the week that's going to draw in some moisture ahead of that, which means it's going to get a little muggy next week. It's going to give us an opportunity for initially some pop-up storms. Then we're looking at some slightly better rain chances as we head toward the weekend, and that will also bring our temperatures back down to normal into the low 80s by next weekend. So just a few days of uncomfortable heat. Right. Then it'll get better again.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making wonton egg drop soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is sharing his recipe for wonton egg drop soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to choosing between wonton and egg drop soup, which do you prefer? I like them both, which is why we came up with an egg drop soup with wontons in it. That is as easy as can be. We begin by heating some chicken broth with a touch of sesame oil. While that heats up, we combine some ground pork with a few sliced scallions, ground ginger, and garlic powder. Once that's mixed, we put spoonfuls of this on a wonton skin. And if you're wondering, where can I find these? They're usually in the produce section. Next, we brush the edges with beaten eggs, fold it over to form a triangle, and seal them up. Then into the soup they go. Once they're cooked, we take them out and thicken our soup by slowly stirring in some cornstarch mixed with a bit of chicken broth. To make this true egg drop soup, we need to add some eggs, of course. So we drizzle in a few at a time that we've beaten. We finish it off with a touch of soy sauce before adding the cooked wontons back in. That's it. Maybe top it off with a few scallions and it's ready to serve. And the best part is, it's so good no one would ever believe that you made it from scratch. The recipe for our wonton egg drop soup is online now, so you can have the best of both worlds. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a super duper way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so again, some of us about 80, others you're going to see the mid to upper 80s out there. Clouds continuing to clear. All of us heating up through the weekend and next week going upper 80s, low 90s. Some pop-up storms Wednesday through Friday. Cold front comes in, cools us back down to normal, low 80s next weekend with hopefully some more meaningful rainfall chances out there.
Alrighty, hopefully, fingers crossed. Well, coming up tonight at 5, businesses around the world are experimenting with artificial intelligence using tools like ChatGPT to increase sales. Ice cream makers in Italy say it's helping them scoop up new customers by helping them to create a new frontier of flavors. Sounds pretty good. Plus, a national shortage of EMS and EMT workers is having an impact right here in the 4 states. We'll take a look. And smiles at school. Today, Carthage elementary students are getting a visit from a local dentist to learn about the importance of dental hygiene. You can join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.